All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to start off by giving all praises, all blessings to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect, pushing this word in all truth and in sincerity, risking life and livelihood in so doing. All right, especially in these days and times. All right. Shalom to the women and children, all right, who watch and who learn, all right, from these videos as well. Okay. And what you're seeing is this is the entertainer, the singer, all right, Sierra, all right, and she's got showing off her grill, all right. And I'm not going to do anything on Sierra. It was just the title of this short that she put out. It was called "Smile is Contagious." All right, and earlier today, I had made a post because here in Chicago, all right, and and I'm just gonna say here in Chicago, you have there's a lot of things that's going on, the ICE is coming in, and they're snatching people up. You have a lot of people who are we're only 2 years since they lifted the mandate. Okay, remember the mandate 2 years ago. Now a lot of you are you're not 5 and 3. A lot of you are grown, man. They just lifted the mandate a few years ago, and you had to abide by by their rules. Okay, and a lot was lost. A lot is still being lost. You have jobs that are being taken away, that are never coming back. Okay, and America is not a country that produces a lot of things, and the average American citizen is not themselves producing any products. Okay. Now Sierra, she has a lot of money. Okay. So in the world, and even the money that she has, it's not enough. But in the world and in the mind of these people, okay, in the world and in the mind of these people, they're comfortable. And we see what just happened and took place with the dealer. Now I don't know how in the world did a fly get in here. Okay, a fly somehow got into my room. All right, I don't know how that was possible. But you know, you saw what just happened to the diddler. Okay, now he may beat this case, which I said from the jump. it was basically no case, all right, because all the things, his whole conduct is, is the conduct uh, that is, of America. Okay, so he's not he wasn't behaving in any different way that any Edomite, any Moabite, any Hamite, okay, behaves in America, okay, but the attack is on the Israelites, all right. As you see, like even with the deportation, okay, there are a lot of different nationalities and cultures here in America, but their main focus are on the tribes, are on the Israelites, all right. And most of these people don't, they know, but they're not accepting that they are the Israelites. So whether you accept or you don't accept, okay, you are an Israelite, okay. And so you know your P Diddy's and Bill Cosby's, Esau puts the clamp down, on Jake, on our people, every so often, all right. uh now there's word that they're deporting these so-called Negroes, all right. You're being deported, okay, and sent out, okay, to Guantanamo Bay. But even with all of this going on, our people, have the special super the special super ability to be able to smile, all right. That's like a superhuman, it has to be like a superhuman ability, all right, to be able to smile. I know some of you may go and may have went and listened to a Tupac and Scarface song, okay, Smile for Me. But here in Chicago, you witness a lot of brazen, okay, for lack of a better term, a lot of things that take place, and people are able to smile, okay. Salakia, but people are able to smile. I've seen, we do stories and do updates on things that's going on, but the people themselves, okay, they're having a ball, okay. Even though people are being deported, and heads could be rolling down the street, all right. Heads could literally be rolling down the streets, and they are. Heads are rolling. People are getting fired off of jobs. people are losing jobs, people are losing wealth, and and wealth and money that they don't have. All right, more of this draconian legislation is being passed, and it's like the game. What is it called? Hang 'em. What's the name of this game? Hangman. All right. The noose is getting tighter and tighter. Okay, around these people's necks. But they're getting enjoyment out of it. All right. They're getting enjoyment out of it. Preparing a lot of Jake. Jake is. Today is the 2nd, so Jake is firing off fireworks, and no care about deportations or anything. They're still trying to chase the American dream. So it's we're still very much all right in warfare, man. Okay, and we are still at war. Okay, now even though this is a spiritual a warfare, okay, we're still dug in. We're still supposed to be in the trenches. Okay. I know every now and again, you're able to pop up and move around, but we're still in these trenches, man. And you could tell by the way that the 2/3 of our people are behaving. Okay. If I was an entertainer or some type of celebrity or superstar, after seeing what just took place with P. Diddy, all right, Bill Cosby, who they're constantly publicly lynching, and this public lynching that they're doing, it goes back to slavery. They would break buck breaking. Okay. I was just Jake is running and flocking to Islam. So, I was posting, on another media channel. I was posting, everything that I could post on the Arab involvement in the slave trade. Okay? And most of that was under the watch of Muhammad. Okay? Most of that was under the watch of Muhammad. So let me find some scriptures. All right, because we're supposed to be in the trenches, man. We're not. We're in the spiritual trenches. Okay. Because as the scripture says, our weapons of war are not carnal. Let me see. This is 2 Peter 3:11. All right. So let me go to this real quick. I'm gonna start at 10. All right. Now these scriptures are, are deadly on point. Okay, they're deadly on point. For the brotherhood of faith, for the brotherhood of those who believe. See, at the end of the day, there is a line that has been drawn in the sand, and either you are a believer, okay, or you are not a believer. Either you are a doer, okay, or you are just a hearer. All right. 2 Peter 3:10, it says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night." Okay. "In which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." Okay. "The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up." Okay. And as I'm talking, something else just popped up. Okay. Expensive energy. Okay. Now they're prideful and bold. Okay. And careless, even with all that's going on. Even with the Diddy situation just unfolding. Okay. There, around the world, the hatred for America is at a fever pitch. All right. Countries and governments, all right, they hate the U.S. Okay. And above all of that, okay, the Lord, who you ignorantly call God, okay, he hates the U.S. Okay. And so, just as proud as Esau, the so-called white man, is, our people have gotten that proud. Okay. They're not in the trenches. Okay, spiritually. And so what's going to happen, as we're reading in 2 Peter 3:10, okay, ultimately the world is going to have an exchange, all right, an exchange of ICBM missiles, okay, and they are going to hit America. Now, it says the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. And there's also a scripture saying no man knoweth the day of the Lord. Okay, no man knoweth when the Lord comes. So this could very well, all right, signal a some sort of sneak attack, okay, that will come against America. And that great noise, okay, is going to be those thermonuclear explosions. Okay, so this is what's coming, whether you believe it or not. Okay, it's coming. 2 Peter 3:11. You got Edomites who have taken the precaution and have got them underground military bases or underground bomb shelters. Okay, they've invested, taken out their investments that they've been saving, and they have put in place underground bomb shelters. Verse 11 says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. Okay? So all of what you're seeing, that a lot of you people are, so wrapped up in, okay? And yeah, the thought of Babylon the Great is on all of these people's minds. What they're going to do tomorrow, what they're going to do the next day, the next year. Okay? This is how 2/3 of our people are looking forward. But 2 Peter 3:11 says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. Everything that you see, all of the plans that you're making, future plans, they are going to be dissolved real soon. So it says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? So let me read that in the NLT. All right. So you can get it clearer. So this is the same scriptures, 2 Peter 3:11. It says, since everything around us is going to be destroyed like this, what holy and godly lives you should live. Okay? Looking forward to the day of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai and hurrying it along. And that's what we're doing. Okay? We're looking forward to the day, and we're hurrying it along, man, by prophesying. Okay? Just like Esau, all right, the so-called white man has you people, smiling, and you're just moving without care. You people are moving without care. You're doing things, and the Lord he's just looking, what the angels, okay, they're looking like, Esau himself, he's seeing you. You're not even hiding what you do. You Jakes, you put your videos up on these channels, TikTok, and all these social media channels, and the Lord is about to kill you niggas, man. To put it bluntly, the Lord is about to kill you niggas. Your little kids, your children, they're gonna die. Okay, people that you love. Okay, the Lord is about to kill them. All right, now we're not saying this, okay, unless it were going to happen. All right. That's why this is coming out, because it is going to take place. You have some people be like, oh, well, that's not going to happen for another. No, man. This is going to take place sooner than later. Let me jump down. 2 Peter 3 and 14. We know it says, and so, dear friends, okay? People look at us and say, oh, they're haters, they're angry, they're, they have a lot of negative things to say about us, right? The men who are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. But we're coming from the message that is written. So 2 Peter 3 and 14 says, and so, dear friends, okay? Because only a friend is going to tell you and warn you of what is happening. But see, the world is so, for lack of a better term, I'll say weird. Okay? Weird is the new normal. Okay? And it was like that in the ancient world. Okay? Weird is the new normal. And so these things are going, are being ignored purposely. These things are being ignored purposely. And so, dear friends, while you are waiting for these things to happen, make every effort to be found living peaceful lives that are pure and blameless in His sight. Okay? And what's a pure and peaceful life? To be pushing this truth. Feeding the sheep. because what's about to come next, okay, is going to be something that you are, is going to drive a lot of you people uh, insane. All right, because listen, we're not in Jacob's trouble yet, man. But when it comes, okay, when it comes, you people who have not uh, spiritually, uh, who's have not trained spiritually, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose it, and you could go to the gym 100 times a week, man. All right, but you are going to lose it when the Lord ushers in that trouble. Okay, once they start pushing the mark of the beast, some people are not going to be with it. A lot of you will be with it. A lot of you are going to take the mark of the beast. You're going to take it. And so when those missiles come, all right, those ICBMs come, you are going to be swept, okay? Swept, all right? What is it, by the besom? Let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that. Okay, but I can't spell the word, but it's the scripture says you should something about being swept by the besom of destruction. All right, roughly paraphrasing the scripture, but it's like to be swept by a besom of destruction. It's like when you look at a rain storm or a rain front come in. All right, have you ever been out and you just seen it's raining on one side, and on the other side it's not raining. Okay, so if you look over those clouds, over that rain spout, you can see how that rain pattern is moving. It may move from the west to the east, okay? But it's making a sweeping It's coming in a sweeping motion. All right, it's, that water sweeps through like a wave. A wave sweeps up and down the coastline. That's how those nukes, that's how the fire from those nuclear missiles are going to sweep across America, across Babylon the Great. All right. So, we're still in the trenches. All right. We're still, dug in. All right. Things are happening. Okay. Don't, look at how Jake is moving around. Don't look at how 2/3 is moving around and let that influence you. Okay. Whatever 2/3 got going on, man, let them be. Let them move how they are moving, man, because they're moving without fear of the Lord. Okay, and so the Lord is going to show them. All right, He just explained it. All right, can't make this message any clearer. And so we, with an understanding of this, hey, we understand. Listen, and we're moving in peace. Okay, we're moving in peace. Because we understand what's about to take place. So, with that being said, Lord willing, you're edified till next time. Shalom.